We're the famous Leeds United and we're going to Wembley. Wembley! Wembley! How's it going, everybody? It is Charlie. Welcome back to the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Sorry that this video wasn't out last night, but I was in no fit state to be doing any content when I got back home last night. It was late on. My voice was a little bit gone. So I thought I'd just save it for this morning, but it's time for your review, your reaction to that unbelievable performance of the season last night as Leeds United battered, demolished, murdered, and took the soul from Norwich City as we hammered them 4-0 to book our place in the Championship playoff final at Wembley Stadium next Sunday, the 26th of May. Just before we get into this video, please make sure you are smashing that like button. It really does help get the video out there to more people. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new and help me reach 3K as soon as possible. Hit the notification bell and, of course, get all of your thoughts and opinions on last night's game into the comment section down below. So, as you can tell, my voice is still a little bit croaky, but I had to come on here and get a reaction out for you this morning whilst I sip a nice cup of tea. So, I don't even know where to begin. Where do I begin with that? I mean, first of all, just the atmosphere at Ellen Road. I mean, we all know it's good when it's rocking. It's rocking. Last night, in terms of this season, I thought that night against Leicester was the best night at Ellen Road that I've had. But then when you actually sit back and you deep it a bit, that game was good for about 15 minutes. Last night, the atmosphere and the performance of the team from minute 1 to minute 92 was I'm not even just saying it because it was last night and it's still fresh in the memory, but that was the best performance we've put in all season. And it was the best Ellen Road I've seen this season and for a very, very long time. They'd left the scarves out on the seats for everybody. And I'll be honest, when I saw that a few hours before kickoff, I thought, oh no, I'm getting Derby flashbacks. But like a lot of people said on Twitter, it wasn't the scarves that caused that horror show that night against Derby. It was obviously the team. And I get that they're trying to create an atmosphere and make it as, hostile for Norwich City as possible. But honestly, I haven't experienced anything like that in a very long time. Apologies, guys, my throat and I'm in a bad way this morning. But I just had to come on. I had to come on and just get this reaction out because and yeah, there'll be people that'll be thinking ahead now to the final, but save that for another day. Let's just, there's still 9 days away until the final. Let's just enjoy what the team did last night. And Daniel Farke's had a lot of question marks about him over the last few weeks of the season, and rightly so, in my opinion. I think some of the decisions he's made and how he's managed the team has been a bit questionable. I've never been Farke out. I don't get why people would be, but I've certainly had questions about him. The first leg and last night, I believe he has managed perfectly and got it absolutely spot on. The first leg, look, we're away at Carrow Road. You've got to keep it tight. Don't concede. And if you have to take a 0-0 draw back to Ellen Road, then that's what you have to do. And that's what they did. It was a defensive performance at Carrow Road and one that was nice to see, actually. It was nice to see us look so defensively solid. But going back to Ellen Road, you always factor in, could the Ellen Road crowd get to the players? Could they fold under the pressure? Biggest game of the season, a lot at stake, a lot riding on it. But they went out and they really went for the jugular. They really got at Norwich from the get-go. It finished 4-0, but it could have been 6, 7, 8-0. We were that all over them. Norwich City had that one chance from Josh Sargent, where Ampadu just mistimes the sliding tackle. But Ilhan Meslier makes the best save that he's done all season, and the most important save that he's made all season. To deny Josh Sargent, he tries to loop it over him, but he makes himself big and he prevents the ball from entering the net, which is good. And that's at 2-0, where, if they score that and it's 2-1, it opens the game up a lot more, and it could have gone a totally different way. But other than that, I don't remember Norwich having an effort on goal. We'll talk about the goals in a minute, but I just thought defensively last night, again, we were unbelievable. Archie Gray, I mean, I'll be honest, last few weeks, maybe not been at his absolute best, but last night, the kid was phenomenal. I mean, 18 years old and he's making last-ditch challenges, taking people on in his own box in a playoff semi-final. Joe Rodon and Ethan Ampadu, an absolute brick wall last night, the pair of them, unbelievable. Apart from that slight error of judgment from Ethan Ampadu, which allowed Josh Sargent through on goal. I think that's the only sort of error that Leeds United made defensively all night. Junior Firpo, probably a few assists for him. He definitely got at least one assist. He may have even got two. But yeah, I mean, even defensively last night from Firpo, I thought it was really, really good. Positionally aware, knew where he needed to be, knew what players he was marking. Him and Somerville had a good little relationship down that left-hand side. They were helping each other out. And yeah, obviously, let's get into the goals and let's get into the good bits. Obviously, Ilya Gruev, what a moment to get your first goal for Leeds United. A midfielder scoring a goal. How unbelievable was that? Direct from a free kick as well. I mean, it was funny. As he lined it up, the lad in front of me turned round. He went, I'd have a go from here. And I went, no, it's a bit far out, mate. I said, I know what you mean, but, a bit far out. He went, no, I'd have a pop, me. I went, well, fair enough. And then he had a pop and it went straight in and he just turned around and I went, I know, you called it. But Ilya Gruev, you could argue poor goalkeeping from Norwich, which it was, but who cares? In all honesty, I mean, that goal just set the tone. And I was saying to my uncle on the way down, an early goal, and I think we'll be okay. And that is literally what happened. We scored that goal. Is it 6 or 7 minutes in? And from there, we just went at him. We just proper went at him, creating chance after chance after chance. Some of the one-touch football was unbelievable. Jorginho Rutter really back to his best last night. It was like I was watching a different player from the last few weeks. Really, really good. Decision making was a lot better. Held onto the ball when he should have done. Released it when he should have done. Thought Somerville was maybe the quieter of the attacking players, but still was good. I just feel like it was more down like Nonto and Rutter's side of the pitch. But still, Somerville had a great game as well. I don't think anybody had a bad game, but one player that I want to shout out, and he gets a lot of stick, and in all honesty, rightly so, based on some of the performances we've seen from him this season. But you have to give credit where credit is due. It's the man on the thumbnail. It's Mr. Yoel Perreault. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was Perreault's best performance in a Leeds shirt. Not just because he scored, but he was always looking for the ball. Some of his touches were phenomenal. Good decision making, knew when to release the ball. He isn't the quickest of players, but he was beating players. He was using skill. And even though he was doing the bits that he usually does, like he was dropping deep. He was dropping deep, releasing the ball, and then he was getting straight back up to get involved in the attack. And that second goal that Willie Gnonto lays on a plate for him, first of all, unbelievable ball from Willie Gnonto. What an assist that was. But secondly, Perrault was in the area of a natural number 9 on the shoulder of the centre-back, in behind. Again, poor defending, poor goalkeeping from Norwich City. But all Perrault has to do is just get the slightest nod on it and it's in. And that's what he does. There was no way that he could miss that. No way. No way on earth that he could miss that chance. It was an unbelievable goal. But even at that point, there's still nerves in the air, but the atmosphere, I mean, the scarves were just flying about, chants. But there was still that element of, if Norwich pull one back, and then that's of course when Josh Sargent has that opportunity. Ilham Elie does the business, keeps us 2-0 up. And I think, people celebrated that Ilham Elie save like a goal because it was that important and that vital. And at that point, you're thinking, right, 2-0 at half time's nice, we'll take that. But then Leeds make it 3 just before half time. Jorginho Rutter, again, a lovely worked attack. Fairport plays the ball in. There's a bit of a scramble. It falls to Somerville, who scrambles it across the box for Rutter, and it just hits the top of the frame of the goal and drops in, which sparked wild celebrations in the South Stand and everywhere in the ground. It was nice to see 3 goals at the South Stand then last night for a change. That was nice, like right in front of me. Great view of all the goals and the celebrations, even though I had about 3 lads on top of me at one point from rows behind. It was pandemonium in that in the home end in the South Stand. And obviously you just look across at the Norwich City fans and bless them, just in absolute disbelief at what they're seeing. I can only imagine what they felt like. But we've been there and we've done that. And last night it was our chance, it was our time, it was our opportunity, and we definitely took it. And then obviously the second half was a lot of the same, really. We didn't sit on our 3-0 lead. We were still going at them. Again, don't remember Norwich having much of the ball, any real clear-cut opportunities in that second half. Leeds were just all over them. Even when we made the subs, we brought Connor Roberts on and moved Gray into midfield. We brought Cooper on towards the end. Anthony came on. I think Mateo Joseph came on as well. And they all put the shift in. They all did well. They all put the effort in for the badge. And obviously Somerville ends up getting the 4th goal. I believe it's a shot initially, which the keeper saves. I'm trying to remember. I've not even watched all the goals back. I've seen a few of them, but not all of them. I believe it was a shot, which the keeper saved. It parries back out to Junior Firpo, who plays it back in, and Somerville obviously bags it home, and it's 4-0. And at that point, we celebrated like mad because we knew we'd got the job done then. Even though there was still 20 minutes left, 4-0 up, we knew we'd won. And that's when the Wembley chants were coming out, Que Sera, Sera. Loud chants of marching on together. But the old classics came out as well, like the Don Matteo chant, the Jermaine Beckford scored in the scum shithole chant, Luciano Becchio chant. It was unbelievable. It was everybody happy, everybody singing, everybody just in love with the team. And look, what will be at Wembley. Obviously, Southampton and West Brom play their second leg tonight, so we'll obviously be playing one of those. In terms of who I would want there, you'd say West Brom maybe, but then again, I know Southampton have done the double over us, but if we play like we did last night at Wembley against either of these teams, I think we'll win it. I'm that confident now after watching that last night. The mentality of the players has been questioned a lot. over the last few weeks of the season. But if they can step up like that in a big moment, in a big game in front of the Ellen Road crowd roaring like that, let's be honest, we'll be making plenty of noise in London next week at Wembley, won't we? I will definitely be getting a ticket for that 100%. I will be there, loud and proud. And if they can step up last night, they can step up next week for me. But like I said, the mentality of the players has been questioned, but they really stood up last night. They really stepped up and put in arguably the best performance of the season by a country mile. By a country mile. And look, if I had to pick a man of the match, I'm not even sure who I'd pick. There wasn't a bad player on the pitch. Just for the sake of how he's been most of the season, I'd probably give it to Perot. I thought he proper worked his socks off. You know, he gets a goal, but his all-round play massively improved. So I'd probably give it to Perot, to be fair. But yeah, honestly, on absolute cloud nine this morning, guys. Cannot believe that I will be going to Wembley next weekend to watch Leeds United. You know, I have been to Wembley, but only for rugby league to watch Leeds Rhinos. I've never been for football ever, so it'll be an experience for me. And you know, hopefully, it'll be the best day of my life next Sunday. But again, that's another day. It's another topic for another video. Let's just enjoy last night for the next few days. Not sure when the tickets will be out, guys, but when the tickets are out, if you're a season ticket holder like myself, make sure you claim your ticket. And let's take over London next Sunday. But yeah, hit me up in the comment section down below, guys, with all your thoughts and opinions on last night's game. Make sure you like it, make sure you comment, and make sure you're subscribing as well and hitting that notification bell. I may do a live stream this evening for the last say where we'll be getting all your guys' thoughts and opinions. If you'd like me to do that, hit me up in the comments and let me know. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, guys, and I will see you in a bit. Cheers.